Hi, this is Tamika. I'm back again, and what I want to do in this video is just share some thoughts about what my MS journey has been like since being diagnosed late March of 2010. So it is the end of December now, so I have been living with MS for 9 months now. So just want to share some thoughts. Just want to share some sort of tips, some things that has helped me along throughout this journey. If I look back, I have had pretty much every month since I've been diagnosed, I've had some type of relapse. Initially, they started off with being, the tingling and burning sensation from on my right side, from my chest down to my legs. Usually when it gets further enough down my leg, it then starts impacting my ability to walk. And then when it bounces over to my left leg, then it's sort of like, okay, it's time to do something about it. I have had 3 or 4 rounds of Solumedrol IV steroids since being diagnosed in March for various things. The last round was for my optic neuritis. It did not help that situation at all. The other 3 times that I've been on the IV steroids, it has helped some symptoms that I was having. So usually, again, with my legs, when I'm having those problems with my legs, the tingling, the numbness, all of that impacts my ability to walk, when I go on the IV steroids, if it's soon enough, early enough in the outbreak of those symptoms, then the IV steroids will help me. And then, of course, I taper down with the prednisone, the oral steroids after. So I've been doing a lot of steroids since being diagnosed. Of course, not too much. There are times when I'm having situations and I'll say, talk to my neurologist about it or the ophthalmologist and say, let's just wait it out. Let's see if I'm going to get better, because you do run the risk of other treatments if you do too much steroids. So I understand all of that, and every time I do decide, I think I want to do some steroids because it's impacting my ability to just function on a daily basis, like walk, then, I just am to the point where I want to assume the risk. So I've done that. Usually I'm a person who loves summer. I could not wait for summer to be over this year, because I do suffer from the Utah phenomenon, or the Utah syndrome, where heat exasperates my MS symptoms, or it brings on temporary MS symptoms. So when I am in a situation where I'm hot, maybe a car that's too hot, or outside in the direct sunlight, I will start having some tingling, some numbness, some sort of delayed cognitive thoughts. Those types of things will happen to me, and as soon as I cool my body down, if I'm not in a true MS outbreak, then those symptoms will go away. And so that's the Utah syndrome, or Utah phenomenon, whichever one you want to call it. So I do suffer from that. Even from something as simple as having my laptop sitting on my lap, if it gets too hot, I will my legs will start numbing up and tingling. If I'm in the shower and it's too hot, then I will get very tired and sleepy. A tip for you ladies out there, one thing that I realized is that when I go and get a pedicure, I have to make sure that I'm mindful of how hot I'm letting the water be for my feet, because if I let it be too hot, then I will sit there and slowly my body sort of starts shutting down, and I'm like, oh, ding, 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 it's too hot. I used to like to get a paraffin wax, but that hot wax doesn't work. Can't get hot stone massage on my legs anymore, or my body in general. Can't get into jacuzzis or hot tubs or saunas or any of those types of things, because, again, I am one that, and I don't think it's good for anybody who has MS in general, from my research, but for me, heat definitely exasperates, speeds up, or brings on MS symptoms. So I have to stay away from heat. This summer has been pretty long. I mean, even down to being out of the country on a Caribbean island, you know, needing to pace myself with how long am I actually spending outside, you know, of the resort or sitting out by the beach, because I can't have too much heat on me. I have to make sure that I'm sort of in and out of an air-conditioned environment and then back maybe out in the sun a little bit. So that took some time to get adjusted to that sort of thinking. I'm used to being somewhere and laying out in the ocean, you know, sort of relaxing for hours. I can't do that anymore. So I'm talking about all the things that I sort of can't do, or some of the things that I have learned since being diagnosed with MS. Maybe let me switch that thought a little bit to how I am sort of, how do I say this? My thoughts about it. So, you know, I don't think that I have been doomed or given any sort of like death sentence, early death sentence. The way that I deal with my MS is I have made sure that I've educated myself to the best of my ability. I've made sure that I'm linked with good physicians who can assist me, who will help educating me, who aren't turned off by me saying, hey, something is wrong, I need help. I think that has really helped me along my journey. I just am a person in general, you know, whether it be from parenting to losing weight to, you know, dealing and understanding my MS, I just have a tendency of going off and learning as much as I can about the situation so that I'm armed with knowledge. And that's what I've done. I've just gone out and really tried to research and understand it. Now, a lot of MS, you know, it's different from person to person. So, you know, a lot of it is not anything that we can, you know, I don't think ever completely understand. But, you know, I understand the effects that it has on my body. Another big thing for me is my memory is shot. For the most part, you know, I forget things. I could be looking at an email and go and look at something else and then completely forget about it until the end of the day when I'm turning my computer off and I see the email half written. You know, I have to make more lists now than I have ever had to in my life. Have to rely on, you know, sort of follow-up flags on things that I need to get back to. Another really big one, and I don't know if lots of other people have this problem, but my writing, you know, what I type or write, handwritten or text, it does not always come across as what I'm thinking. And so I might put an extra ending on the word, or I might leave an ending off. Let me see, a good example of this might be if I said something like, today I think I was trying to post something in Facebook, and I said, it seems like, and I wanted to say it seems like, but I ended up typing it seemed like. And so I'll do that a lot, and so I've had to learn how to stop, proofread emails or text messages or, you know, Facebook status updates, whatever it is, responses to comments on YouTube. Whenever I'm writing blogs, oh my gosh, I had started writing a blog for something and I stopped because it was too much. It was sort of like, this is the way I thought about it. I have to do this, read things 3 times over for work all day long so that I'm not sending out jibber jabber. And it's easier for me to vlog. So I have another YouTube channel. It's easy for me to prop this camera up and talk. But I had decided that I was going to actually do a written blog for my website. And I got 1 blog entry in. And I thought, you know what, this is creating too much anxiety and stress for me because I do this thing with these words these days. I completely forget or leave out, you know, words, or they end up being wrong words, or I completely, you know, just skip a thought. And to have to actually do that to myself intentionally, I was like, it's just bringing on too much stress. So I am one who has problems with in that area. So if you have that, you're not alone. Let's see. I also have really bad cognitive fatigue. Sometimes I'm just mentally tired. In addition to the physical fatigue. So I have the cognitive fatigue where some days I'm just like, you know, maybe 2, 3 o'clock, I'm exhausted from my work day. And, you know, there are times when I've had to learn how to say, I give. I can't go anymore. I can't do any more today, because it just becomes more and more difficult if you keep trying to go when you're in that state. So I've had to, you know, sort of raise my hand and say, I give. And I'm forgiving myself for that and knowing that it's okay, because this is something that's going on with me. I don't expect everybody to always understand it. I don't expect my family or my friends to always understand. But this is my MS journey. And these are some of the things that I have to deal with on a daily basis. So, again, I committed in a prior email to video. See, I said the email. I'm not talking about email. I'm talking about video. So I committed in another video to come on this channel and be visible and make videos at least every 2 weeks, to be able to just sort of talk about some of these things that I am observing while I'm on my MS journey, and hopefully they will be helpful for other people. Because sometimes we feel like we're alone. Sometimes we feel like we're the only person who's dealing with this particular type of symptom. Whereas in actuality, when you see, hey, somebody else leaves off the ending of their words too, you don't feel so bad after all. It is just something that is happening to us because of the result of what's going on in our brains or our spinal columns. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody. I rambled a bit, but it's because I haven't been here in a while. So, again, I hope to make myself more visible, and I shall talk to you all later. And until then, make sure that you're well. Okay, bye.